My name is Mebim Lewin. I am firstly a sickle cell advocate. I'm a tech enthusiast, uh, media enthusiast. I like editing and stuff like that. And also, I founded, or I'm part of the founding team of the Christian organization. So, yeah, we run an organization for sickle cell disease and things like that.
That's Nita Bonkaro. I'm a clinical social worker. I'm a development communicator. I'm a sickle cell warrior and advocate. I'm an advocacy model. I'm an actress. and currently rounding up with my master's degree in communication and development studies. So, yeah.
Christian organization is a sickle cell advocacy organization. And so a lot of our programs rotate around sickle cell disease, helping those with sickle cell disease, making their lives a little bit easier. A lot of our programs have to do with sickle cell disease, advocacy, genotype testing. We also run a clinic where we distribute medications for sickle cell disease to sickle cell warriors in everywhere, Amanda. So that's what we've been working on so far.
I started doing advocacy on sickle cell, I think 5 years back, where anytime I have a modeling competition, I take sickle cell as my project. Like I try to fit into it. I started it with the platform of Miss Health Cameroon, and I emerged Miss Health Northwest. Went in for the national finals, and that was my project throughout. After that, going in for different competitions, it has always been sickle cell or nothing. In the days of our parents, they could forgive them because, of ignorance. You just see somebody you're interested in, you go to the compound, you give call, and the next day you're married to the person. But these days, with the awareness, things should be different. And I don't know if people are just not interested, but it is a very serious thing. So yeah, it has been a lot of work, and the more I do the work, I see that there is more work to do.
My earliest memory with sickle cell disease, I think I must have been 5 or so. I just remember being sick. I don't even know. I just remember being in a lot of pain, but I don't know what was wrong. Right? I could feel how worried, or I could see how worried my parents were, and that's when I got worried myself. Although I was in a lot of pain, and from there I had a couple of crises, and my dad spoke to me about it, spoke to us about it because it was not just me. It was I and some of my other brothers, and he told us that we are patients and we should take care of ourselves. If you're not taking care of yourself, you land yourself in more crisis. So basically, he was always trying to let us be very careful. So I just knew that I could not do a lot of things. I knew I could not do sports in school. I could not play in school and things like that. I did not play soccer. In fact, I barely played when I was a child, which is unfortunate, but I guess it's okay. Yeah. So I had a very careful lifestyle. Go to school, come back, stay home, stay warm.
I know that I've been sick like forever when I was very young. I remember, I was very, very pale, very thin. I think everybody in the family was just looking at me like, that child. They should be very surprised that she has turned out to be a lot. Physically, I wasn't looking good. Then I did not know that I was not looking good to you. I look at my pictures and I'm like, oh wow. I was so pale. I was sick all the time. I remember going in and out of the hospital all the time. I think it was right up to secondary school that I knew exactly what was up with me because I had to do a medical certificate to show in school that, okay, you have sickle cell, you're not supposed to do manual labor, you're not supposed to be beating, you're not supposed to fight, you're not supposed to do sports. So whenever they're doing sports, I just need to dress in that time and stand and give my marks. But I remember going to the hospital and several times, and one time they were like, "You're going to live on drugs all the days of your life." And that human being was just being so careless the way they said it, as if that thing has never left me. I just feel like even in the medical sector, people should be trained on how to handle some kind of particular cases. So she just said it like as if it's water that I'm drinking. I lost my kid brother, so I was wondering, like, should we? Is it the same thing that killed this guy? Is it that I'll be dying soon? I remember I had to undergo a surgery, and before my kid brother died, he also had to undergo a surgery. So a lot was just going through my mind. I was like, okay.
Oh, that's a nice question. I think I would say 2020. Because 2017 I lost my brother to sickle cell disease, and at the time it was very, very disheartening. It was just both of us. We had already lost a brother before from sickle cell disease, and we knew what it was at the time. And so I was always worried. I was really, really worried after 2017. And then from there, 2020 came along, and I started getting into advocacy. I wasn't really interested at first, but I started getting into advocacy, and I realized that there's a lot I could do with my life, right? It's not just about being a sickle cell patient or warrior and then just wallowing in self-pity all the time. So I felt like I had to do something impactful with my life, and that's where I decided to take advocacy very serious, or more serious. And yeah, that's basically what has led me to this moment right here. There are a lot of people making dumb decisions around me at the time with who they get engaged with and marry and things like that. And I was wondering, this is 20, whatever it was at the time, 2021 or so. And people still don't know about sickle cell that much. People are still making mistakes. I'm still seeing children of 2 years old with coming to the hospital for crisis. And I'm wondering how that happened. I just had to add my voice to the conversation.
I had a major crisis. I was at Bingo Annex for some days and nothing was happening. I was on oxygen and nothing was happening. Family had to check in on a priest to come and give me anointing oil. Nothing was happening. As days passed, I was getting worse, pale. They had to transfer me from Bingo Annex to Big Bingo. My saturation was going down. Nothing, as in, it was a whole scene. Like the day they had to transfer me in that ambulance, that was my first time to enter an ambulance. There's an oxygen support, there is saturation machine checking my breath if it's unchecked, there's a nurse, there's driver, my mom. Then we got there, they had to remove and put the mask. For days, nothing was happening. The day I finally woke up from that ward, even the person that was in the highest pain passed by my bed to say hi, because in that kind of thing, you're in the hospital looking like if person gonna die, I did get. Like after then, I was like, When I came back to town, my first request was that I should go and renew my dreadlocks and look pretty. I do not want to look sick. I was like, Sha, if I came out from this, then I think sickle cell will not hold me down like that. It was a very bad, dark moment.
That's a good question. I think for the past 2 or so years, advocacy has drastically increased. So more people are aware more people know what sickle cell is, more people know what genotype is. Even if they are not doing it, they at least know, right, that they're supposed to do it. And I think that has a lot to do with the work we've been doing with Crescent for the past year and a half or so, and the work that other advocates are also doing as well. It's not just us. So I'm actually grateful for how far we've come. I mean, even the the Ministry of Health is recognizing how much of a problem it is and how much more effort they should be putting in solving the problem. So yeah, I think it has really, really improved.
Every social work skill per se, communication, empathy, active listening, compassion, even advocacy. There's a different level to it when you talk from a space of depth where you relate is different. Even in my advocacy, we can go to the field. You will just talk maybe because you know what sickle cell is, you've been taught of it, you've read it somewhere, but the way I speak is different. So most times I just love to meet warriors and ensure that they are not broken by sickle cell. I would tell them sickle cell is a stepping stone, not be death sentence. You should not carry it on your head. That's what I say all the time. And we all will die one day. Some sicklers might not die because of sickle cell. So I just want them to see life in a different way. I see life like I'm taking one day at a time. I'm grateful to God. Seriously, I did not know that I'll reach this age. Though there are sicklers who have gotten very old, but everybody has their story. So while I am here, I'm trying to make the most out of every moment.
Yeah, I've had to learn more than a few skills to do what I do because being part of the founding team, being a founder of an organization, and trying to be an organization is not just one or two or three people, five people. There are a lot of other core functions. And so you have to wear several hats and you need to like improve on a daily. I mean, you're doing communication, you're doing what advocacy, you're reaching out to people. There are a lot of things. You're shooting videos. I mean, you're even working at the hospital. I've had to get comfortable with the hospital setting.
Well, I hope to use my already communication skills and with what I'm hoping to learn from here content creation. I mean, blending that, I hope to make my advocacy better. I know that people just want to connect with what's real. Tell stories about sickle cell, about the a sickless war in general. But if with this project, if I can get to learn more, because earlier this year I started doing a little bit of video content. Normally I just write, but this year I started with video content, and it's not easy with the editing stuff. And I was so happy when I got selected for this project, and I'm hoping that at the end of the day I learn the editing, content creation in general to help me with my advocacy journey and help people connect more with my content.
Um, I would say editing, video editing, shooting videos. That's something I used to do sparingly at the time. But after I began, I had to do it constantly. I had to always. Minus that, there are a lot of other things. Reaching out to people has been something that I've always been very timid about. And so even my public speaking and public appearance has drastically improved as a result. Yeah. I've been released from the shell that I was in. Yeah, I was not comfortable with talking in front of a camera. It wasn't something that I fancied. No. Yeah, but now I think I'm more comfortable with it. A necessary evil. You have to do it, even if you don't want to. You need to get the word out there somehow. You need to get the message out, and those are the avenues, right? So you need to be out there. We use social media and the medium of communicating through videos and audios to talk to people about sickle cell disease, to advocate about sickle cell disease. And when we talk about knowing your genotype, it's not just about word of mouth. Word of mouth is not going to do it. You need to get to the people who you don't even know that you're getting to behind the phone. And so you're using social media to the best of your knowledge. You're using social media as much as you can, creating videos on TikTok, YouTube, and even post minus video editing, minus video production, even just writing skills is also quite important. You want to get a message out, right? Yeah. Letting people know what's going on, why they need to start taking things like that serious. So how would they hear it if you don't say it? Yeah.
There are a lot of things, from maybe the point of people just being too careless about very important things. I wish I could change that, like insert it in everyone's DNA, a call to alertness or something. Like, it's the way people don't even take their own life serious. You know, there are a lot of channels where people try to preach, create awareness. Even victims, survivors, patients try to let people know how dangerous a particular thing is. Not just sickle cell, but it's the way that my life kind of, like, they really don't care.
There were a lot of kind messages and kind words. It's really difficult to pick a favorite one. I remember talking to this girl. She was quite interested, but she didn't even know how to go about it. And so when we talked to her, basically just shared her a flyer, told her what it was about. 2024, yeah. And she did her test and she was AA. And she was so excited. She was so happy. I was shocked by how happy she got from the result. And she was so very thankful because it was an opportunity that she had not had before.
In my community, the change is very shallow. If only there is a change. Like, the things you get to hear about sickle cell in this generation, I'm like, oh wow, interesting. With all the awareness, all the advocacy, with all my effort, oh God. You see why we need more advocates. I just hope you guys can join us. So I don't think, from my angle, I don't think a lot has changed. I think people are still very ignorant about sickle cell. I say this because I'm doing an academic study on sickle cell. It doesn't just end at the level of advocacy, because even the parents of these patients don't know what sickle cell is. Then one more of the community, I mean, should they really care? So I don't think there is much change. Well, now it will be at the level of the individual, but as a community, it's still really shallow.
Well, at the point of the community, people talking more about sickle cell, and the more you talk about it, the more people hear about it, and it eventually ripples down to the health facility, the health community. So recently, one of our major celebrations was the Ministry of Health announcing that they will take neonatal genotype testing more serious, meaning that they will be able to test children from when they are born and not just when the parents recommend it. Because right now, unless a parent requests for a genotype test for their child, they're not going to get it. They'll get discharged. We'll not even talk about it. And so, what if that child gets born with sickle cell? And maybe what if the parents are unaware? So, by the time they're 5 years old, maybe that's when they're discovering that it's sickle cell.
They have neglected sickle cell for a very long time, but we are happy to know that earlier this year they started with a national strategic plan to combat sickle cell, and they are trying to see how they can increase awareness, how they can educate their staff, like the health professionals, to handle such cases. Because I don't know if A lot of them don't even know much about sickle cell, like how to handle a sickle cell patient in crisis, all the complications. It's a disease of the blood, and there is blood everywhere in the body. You hardly find a specialist for sickle cell. And when it comes to funding, people are looking at high blood pressure, diabetes, and nobody's looking at sickle cell. Sickle cell is neglected. A lot of sicklers die every day, and it's not as if it's something that gets better or comes at a particular age. When you have sickle cell, you have sickle cell. It's a lifelong disease. I just feel like it should be given more concern. They should put more effort in it. But so they are trying to see how they can screen more newborns to know their genotype, to raise more awareness and to train their staff.
Sickle Cell Day was June 19th, and it was commemorated at the delegation, and we're invited. I've never really put in that much effort, but now I could really see that they were so interested in solving the problem. Yes, they made a lot of promises that I hope they get to keep, right?
So that's the vision, and I'm very happy that they are beginning to do something. It is very important. Just imagine knowing your genotype at a very early stage. It helps you to know and make more informed decisions. So yeah, I'm happy with their interventions.
But now, if it's implemented, because there's a difference between a communique and implementation. Yeah, if it's implemented, children born now will be recommended strongly to carry out that genotype test. If every child born now gets to know that genotype, it means there'll be a whole generation of children or of young adults who are aware of their genotype status. So it's a long-term plan, it's a long-term goal, but maybe in like 30 years, 20 years, the rate at which we get sickle cell, because right now about 7,000 children are born with sickle cell, if I'm not mistaken, in Cameroon. A year, that's a lot. And 30% of the Cameroonian population is AS, they are carriers. So if there's a whole generation of people who know that fact about themselves, then the generation after that will be free of sickle cell.
We have a warriors forum. The things we share among ourselves is so wow. There are times that you think you're going through the worst till the next person opens up. So I think just that initiative, then going to places that matter, like your presence really matter. It gives hope to a warrior and their family members. Is really great.
A lot of people are way more empathetic, people in the community themselves, right? People who, out of ignorance, would say random hurtful words. You see someone thin, you see someone sickly, you see someone always at the hospital or something, and then now they've probably figured out that it's sickle cell. Empathy doesn't just grow for one. Yeah, like if a person is more empathetic, it is they are becoming more empathetic towards the world in general, not just one thing. So yes, with the healthcare facility, there's still a lot of work. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done, and I can sort of understand. I can put myself in their shoe to sort of understand, but I still don't get it because some medical personnel sometimes are very unfriendly, unempathetic. They they cannot put themselves in that shoe. And after treating people for so many years, it's really difficult for them to feel what their patients feel. Over time, they lose that ability to really feel. And if you can do your job right, I think that's just all we need. But then there's also the level where they say hurtful things. Nurses would say really, really strange things. I mean, I've been admitted a couple times, and I had such a bad experience that I wanted to change hospitals. So I mentioned, I told my mom, like, I had a crisis. And when they said, because I'm not going to call the name of the hospital, but when they said, let's go to the hospital, I said, okay, fine, but I don't want to go to this hospital just because I don't like how I'm spoken to there. But we would recommend that they run programs to educate their healthcare workers and the health facilities, the doctors, the nurses, the staff, right? How do you feel the pain of your patients? How do you communicate that? You need to know what to say and what not to say, how to listen, things like that. hmm there are a lot of workers that really don't know how to speak. Mm.
I thank God for family. Family has been my greatest support system. You know, it's different when your immediate environment to understand and they try to help. So they've been doing just that and they are doing it so well. I cannot really complain. I want to start by saying thank you. I mean, it is not easy. It's not easy to have to take care of a patient living with sickle cell disease. You don't know where the crisis will come. And when a particular crisis comes, you spend, you do all of those. It does not guarantee that another crisis will not come. So it's really a lot. And I want to just say thank you to them, congratulate them for not leaving us halfway. And the advice would be that I know it's not easy, yeah, but they should be very conscious of their words. Sometimes, out of frustration, they could just lash out, and that particular thing just takes that person off. A lot of warriors, sickle cell patients are dealing with depression and other mental health issues because of the environment not understanding them, and it becomes worse when it is from a strong support system like family or a parent. So I just wish to beg, they are not perfect, they are not saints, but most times they should mind what they say. Yeah.
I think the only thing I'd say is it's tough and it's going to be tough, but you have to have a strong willpower to live. You have to figure out a way to make sure your life doesn't rotate around being a warrior or a patient alone. Occupy yourself, get a hobby. If people tell you things, like people say a lot of things like you might die before you become a teenager or whatever, it will hurt, but just forget about it and focus on your dreams because it's there's a lot out there. It's not just sickle cell. There's a lot to live for. Yeah. I know that'll be tough. Find a friend too. Talk to somebody. Have even just one person who you can say everything to. Someone you trust, right? Yeah. And just keep yourself safe. I mean, you already know what to do. Stay warm, drink water, all of those things. Take your drugs. I don't need to repeat that one. But yeah, everything will be okay. Mm, yeah.